All right, so like I said, I don't even know if we have enough time to give all the props, but we'll start on the offensive side of the ball, giving props, and I think Steve Sarkisian should get his credit for the game plan. It was a masterful, brilliant game plan by Steve Sarkisian. We'll get into it more in some of the X's and O's and behind the Bernard's curtain, but early down pass rate, usage of 12 personnel in the passing game, presenting power personnel packages, pivoting to pass principles, all that was great. But I want to talk about the players and what they did in this matchup, and starting with Quinn Ewers. I mean, this was his moment, right? We saw him go from caterpillar to butterfly before our very eyes in so many ways. One texter here says, "I like seeing Ewers show emotion." I think we all did. I think we all like seeing him and show emotion because that inspires teammates, right? That's part of your duty as a quarterback is to inspire teammates. He's so comfortable now. You can tell he's inspiring teammates with his play. And I like that he's in control of his emotion. I saw the emotion, but I also saw him calm on the sideline, kicking it, He's calm. He's cool. I love the move of putting A.J. O'Meara on the sideline now. Now he's got a confidant. He's got a quarterback nurturer on the sideline to go to if things go wrong. I just love the environment now they put him in. And Jerry Hamilton brought up a good point too, he's hit 12 games now officially.
Yeah.
Starting in college.
Started one full season in college football.
One full season of college football. Maybe we're just seeing the maturity and the growth now of him being in the same system with the same personnel. Obviously he was a new student at a new university last year too, probably being acclimated a lot more to his social scene. They talked about how, he's gotten more into his faith, that he's a little bit more grounded. It's so weird. I love that the stories of redemption were all kind of tied together in this game. Sark's story of redemption, Texas football story of redemption, even Quinn Ewers, I think to a certain extent, his story of redemption, and he definitely showed up. We talked about the commonality between the upsets in Tuscaloosa, and one of them, no doubt, probably the most common of those commonalities was your quarterback has to have a transcendent performance. If he's not going to be a transcendent player all season long, that day in Tuscaloosa, he needs to be the best version of himself. I think we saw the best version of Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. Well, and if it continues to get better, that's pretty crazy because he was stepping into throws. He had the good footwork. Man, when he plants and fires, man, this is what the NFL has long thought of, seen with Quinn Ewers. He's got one of those arms, right? He's got one of those howitzers that can just
make every throw.
Make every throw. And some of them were, you're seeing a little off-platform stuff. I mean, the deep ball to X-Man was kind of a flick of the wrist. They put a lot of air under that one, let him run under it. How about the over-the-shoulder catch by A.D. Mitchell to seal the deal?
That's nice. Even the X-Man one was a tough catch.
Tough catch.
That's a tough catch over your head like that.
But I'm going to give you props, too, while we're handing them out. Your game plan for the week was on point, and they used short to intermediate passes, a lot of formations to get Quinn into the game and get him comfortable and get him, where he was in that groove and wasn't doubting himself. And that's really Sark's job. We talked about it a lot. He doesn't have a quarterback who can run, so his job as the play caller and the play designer is to create a clear picture for his quarterback. And you could tell Quinn Ewers never looked rattled in that regard, right?
Not.
He wasn't perfect. He made some throws that he'd want back, but at the same time, it never looked like the confused quarterback that we saw so often last year, and even at times in the Rice game. And by the way, Rice went beat Houston.
Yes, they did.
And Rice might be a little bit better than everybody thought they were.
And that was a damn good game plan they had against Texas. I think now everybody can admit that was a damn good game plan they had. I mean, they kind of rattled Texas. Texas was vanilla. We know that. Now we know Sark was preparing for Bama doing that Rice week. Can we all admit it now? And it's fine. It's good. I'm happy he did it. I wanted him to do it. I just had to do it in the week. I said, I wouldn't prepare for Rice. We're going to beat Rice regardless, and y'all gonna complain and criticize. Even if we beat them by 47 points, y'all still going to find something y'all don't like about it. So to hell with that. We'll find a way to beat them. We'll beat them. No worries. But if I can spend that extra time to prepare for Bama and get this team really dialed into the details, think about it. The reason Quinn was so comfortable in those plays, he's been running them plays for the last 6 months. Spring football, they were running them plays. He was running them plays 2 weeks ago doing Rice Week. They've been running them plays for a long time. That's why he was so comfortable. That's why he knew, he was like, oh, no, I got this, baby. I know exactly where the checks are. I know exactly where the fail-safes are within the offense. That's why everybody was so comfortable. And honestly, now we can go to the other part, the offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, coming off the Rice Week, we were all paranoid and freaking out about that offensive line. Going up against Bama after giving up three sacks versus Rice, I think we're all thinking, all right, we just hope they don't fall apart and implode like a dying star in that game and Quinn's running for his life. Not only that, I'll give you a stat. Texas offensive line is the only group since 2014 that allowed fewer than 3 quarterback pressures and 0 sacks in a single game against Alabama. Shout out to Hook'em Headlines, where I got it from, and they got it from Sports Info Solutions and Pro Football Focus. So that's pretty damn good. They're the first offensive line to allow fewer than 3 QB pressures and 0 sacks in a game against Bama since 2014. So that's a pretty damn good stat about them groups. That group was dialed in.
Well, and this is Coach Stephen Morf this past weekend. He, too, is a butterfly. Yes. Well, I mean, the one thing I'll say for Sark, and he can be heard as an excuse, year one, I don't think they had the depth, and in fourth quarters were not their strength. Last year, I don't know that he trusted his team and trusted his quarterback. And this was, he said all offseason, this looks like my team. This sounds like my team. I believe in this team. And you know what? He trusted them all the way through. And just never took his foot off the gas. I mean, there were some drives early in that third quarter where it kind of looked like they were stalling out. But, man, when they went on attack mode and they got into that tempo, and it was impressive to see them orchestrate that offense. And to combine that with the offensive line performance you just gave, the defense that held an Alabama team to 3.1 yards per carry, and really just gave up big explosive chunk plays to a quarterback who can create those, they really did a great job. The 5 sacks. Somebody said, how about Ethan Burke? Remember when, who was it? One of the offensive linemen called him Baby Bosa, and we all kind of said, hey, tap the brakes, Baby Bosa. Well, guess what? He's playing like Baby Bosa. I mean, he's wrecking the edge. Anthony Hill Jr., freshman out of Denton, had a couple sacks. I mean, these guys were all over the place. Jalen Ford played his typically really good brand of football. Byron Murphy was outstanding. I mean, the whole defensive line. Let me ask you this now. When Sark went for it not once but twice on fourth down, not to nitpick Sark, but what say you? Were you? I
was fine with that.
You were?
Yeah, I was fine with that. Yeah, you talking about the one, was the JT Sanders catch? Just the one down the red zone? Is that that's fourth down,
No,
right?
Remember, he went for it on fourth in the midfield. This is in the fourth quarter. Went for it on the fourth from the midfield. That's when the ball squirted out.
Okay.
And then they got the ball back as Jonathan Brooks pounced on it.
Yes,
then they went for it again on fourth down again.
The tush push. Yeah.
But
I thought he went for the fourth down early on in the game too.
They did, and they got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I thought late in the game.
My point is, he was aggressive, and I was all for it. He came to win.
Yeah,
he did
aggressive
not come.
And all for it.
He did not come to stay in the game. He didn't want to coach to stay in the game. He came there. He coached to win. And that reverberates all throughout the team. The guys believe, no, coach, this is a winning game plan. We came here to win. And offensively, I think that's why you didn't see a lot of wide receiver rotation in that game, because Sark wanted to make sure that when he got the matchup he liked and the coverage he liked, that he also had the guys in there that he thought were best, the best suited to exploit whatever the coverage and matchup that was. That's why you saw heavy rotations of, X-Man, A.D. Mitchell, Jay Witt. Those guys really didn't come off the field much. I saw Jonte Cook out there a little bit, but
you got some time.
It's mostly he stayed with his frontline guys because he wanted to make sure when I got the matchup I like, we're going. Yeah, that we can go and it can dial up those plays, those money plays. So I love the way the wide receivers for Texas. I mean, I guess Ohio State is the only one that may have a better group, man. This wide receiving group is really, really impressive considering
Ohio State,
Jay Witt.
They don't have this quarterback.
Yeah, that's a great point. Because if you consider JT Sanders, JT had over 100 yards receiving in this game. It was unbelievable in this game.
Well, it was everything we talked about going into the season. Is there are so many weapons that Sark's going to be able to attack the weakness, and they seem to find it every time.
They started doubling X-Man a lot of those big plays. They're doubling or rolling coverage toward X-Man, and that's what we talked about. It's like, man, well, everybody else, the numbers, it's a numbers game at its most rudimentary level. That's all football is, and you're presenting them with a mathematical equation they cannot solve. You can't double X-Man and double JT and load the box. Can't do it. You got to leave guys one-on-one. Well, you got A.D. Mitchell one-on-one. He out there eating.
Well, and the signs of a championship pedigree or DNA for a team, you're looking for them. And, Pat, last year they didn't win a championship because they didn't have the guts and the execution in the fourth quarter of games. In this game, not only did they lose the lead in the third quarter to go behind after controlling the game, they're down 16-13. After they took the lead and really reestablished, how many Longhorn fans weren't panicked when they gave up the 3rd and 17, and then 3 plays later, Alabama was in the end zone, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to do this again.
Yep.
They scored 14 points in 15 seconds.
They responded. Like 3
14
plays.
points in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That is a response.
Yep.
That is, no, we're not coming. We're here.
Yep.
We're here. We've got the people, the personnel, but, no coach, no fan base knows what their team is until it's
Test it.
It's the middle
you
of a
need the
battle.
adversity.
It's in the middle
That's
of a
why
battle.
I said I didn't want to see the blowout. I'm glad X-Man didn't catch the touchdown, and I'm glad Jay Brooks didn't catch. Now, if we lost, I'd have been singing a different tune this morning. But they did. They won. But I wanted to see the team tested. I wanted to see them face adversity. We knew they would on the road in Tuscaloosa. We said it. We was like, they got to win in the fourth quarter. Ain't no way you're going to go in there and just blow Bama out. Well,
No.
they actually had a chance to.
They had a chance to.
But they didn't. Because that's the reason it happens that way. So, and it flipped to the defense because I don't think we give enough love to the defense. Just one shout out to Quinn Ewers, though, one of those stats. 0 turnover-worthy passes. 0 in that game versus
Alabama.
Alabama.
Even close to
0.
an interception.
Yeah, everything was on point. But going back to Ethan Burke, the mechanic, I had someone on the chat at On Texas have a better name for him, Ethan Berserk, which I think is kind of cool. So maybe that could go. But the mechanic, he does. His first 2 games at Texas, 7 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Should have had 3. Probably should have had 4 because he should have had 1 in the Rice game that he missed. And they gave him a tackle for loss in this game versus Bama, and it should have been considered a sack because they thought, I guess they considered Jalen Monroe a ball carrier, but he was still in the pocket. But he had started tucking the run before he tackled him, and they considered a tackle for loss. So he should have like 4 sacks. And he's third amongst FBS edge rushers right now in Pro Football Focus pass rushing productive.
Man, well, listen. I mean, Anthony Hill had 2 sacks and a tackle for a loss. Ethan Burke had the same, and that's a freshman and a redshirt freshman. I mean, these guys are going to be here, anchoring your D line around those.
The SEC.
Yeah, man, that was a statement made. Jalen Catalot ended up being the Longhorn leading tackler with 6 total tackles, but it was a total team effort for sure, or 7 total tackles, I should say.